Hey, I'm Danny and I have MS. So I wanted to come on here and talk about the pre-ops that I had to actually take prior to being put on Gilenya. So I know I shared my initial diagnosis story on how that happened, but then now, it's like, hey, you have MS. And prior to me actually being put on Gilenya, we had to do a pre-op. So they needed to do an ECG on me. It's where they monitor the electric currents in my heart. So I opted for a nurse to actually come to my home and monitor me. I want to say it was like for 6 hours. So you have that choice of doing it that way, or you can actually go to like a facility. But I mean, I wanted to be comfortable in my own home. So that's what we did. And did the test, everything turned out fine as far as like my heart. And then, fast forward, doctor decides to go ahead and put me on Gilenya. But then there was this issue as far as like if I had chicken pox as a young kid. I can't quite remember what the issue was, but I never had chicken pox, but I know I had the chicken pox shot. But there was like this whole thing that she was worried about. So then after being put on Gilenya, she had told me, my neurologist now, is that I needed to have the shingle shot. So apparently I needed to have the shingle shot prior to me being put on Gilenya. And then she did an oopsie that way, because I mean, in science or whatever, in the medical field, we end up being test dummies anyways, right? But yeah, so that's what she did. I was on Gilenya for maybe a couple months. I did not like how I felt on Gilenya. I feel like my symptoms initially got worse while I was on it. Initially I just had the tingling on my left hand, but then from that being on Gilenya, I started to get like the electroshocks in my head. My legs were numb. Like whenever I would walk, I would feel like the tingling feeling in my legs. So then that was really weird. Whenever I looked down, I would get that spinal cord shock that a lot of people talked about. It was just weird. Like I felt off. I felt bad. And then I had a heat sensitivity too. That also, and then I would constantly get like vertigo. So yeah, so it was weird. Just being on Gilenya was not the right fit for me. You go from just having tingling on your fingertips on your left hand to now having all of these issues. And it's crazy too, because after being put on Gilenya, I found out that the FDA came out with a warning that patients that were put on Gilenya, their symptoms could possibly get worse, and patients that were taken off of Gilenya, their symptoms could possibly get worse also. So you're like thinking, why even put you on the drug to begin with, right? That's a little crazy. I mean, a little crazy to me. But what do I know? I'm not a doctor. So yeah, so on Gilenya, and then from there, I wanted to seek a different opinion because I was not happy. It just did not feel right to me. So then from there, I was trying to, of course, get a second opinion, and then I found a doctor over in the Mayo Clinic, because I mean, you hear all these stories. Mayo Clinic's the best, right? Like, why not? So I made an appointment for two facilities, the one in Jacksonville and then the one over in like Rochester. I think that's where it is. And I got the closest appointment that I was able to get was the one in Rochester. So I flew out to Rochester to go to the Mayo Clinic. And yeah, that's another story on its own and what happened there. But besides that, I was not happy with the information I was given while I was there. And, from there, I was back to the drawing board with a neurologist I did not like, with the medication that I was taking that I did not like. So then from there, I just decided to change different hospitals. So instead of seeing one hospital, I ended up changing totally to a different hospital. And then from there, found the doctor or neurologist that put me on Ocrevus. So he took me off Gilenya and we did a wash, right? And then prior to me being on Ocrevus, we did the whole testing that we were supposed to do. But I'll get into that video. I apologize if sounds like I'm babbling. I'm a little tired. I worked this morning, didn't get really much sleep. So I'm tired, thinking about taking a nap. But yeah, anyways. But yeah, if you want to continue on as far as like following my journey and then, you know, steps that I took as far as like, which led me to where I am now, yeah, just subscribe, like this video, and yeah, see you in the next video.